Hello, Dave.
Hey, what's up, Diego? How are you?
All right, drinking mate.
I love it. It's an interesting drink. It's like a tea that's a little like a really strong green tea. So
Just mate.
we are brought to you by Mate. No, the one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about right now is I've had a couple of procedures, nothing major like you have. The night before you go in is, well, you didn't really have much time to think about it because you got a call early in the morning and it was off and running. So maybe we could talk about that experience of
So you know
here
when
you go.
when you're on a
It's
transplant
go
list,
time. Yeah, no, I
especially
don't.
with the heart, especially with the heart, because I don't know about the other organs, but I know
Right.
that the heart is the most complex because it has a utility about 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, wow. So
So
it's go
it-
time.
It's when you get a call, no matter what you're doing, you need to stop
Drop
doing
everything.
that, and off
Go.
you go to Stanford. And I got a call about 4 a.m. and the person that called me said, "I don't know if we're gonna make it because the heart comes from far away, but I don't want to miss the opportunity. You miss the heart, so just dress up and go to Stanford. I'm gonna call you again if we're not able to make it." And I was driving towards Stanford, and I received a new call saying we're not gonna make it. So
Oh.
get back to your house. I got back to my house, but the mileage that I did, your life goes by.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember my daughters were sleeping, kissed them.
Yeah.
You
Oh
don't
my
know.
gosh. Can you imagine?
You,
Holy
you
cow,
don't
I
know
can't.
if you're gonna see them again,
Right.
or on what state are you gonna see them again. So I make sure that I kiss them and remember them peaceful sleeping, and then I went to Stanford, and then I got back, updating my wife on that.
She wasn't coming with you? You were driving by
No,
yourself?
she had to stay because
Because the kids are so young, of course.
yeah, kids are
Oh
young
my
and they
goodness.
have to go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
the
like, hey,
kids.
don't worry about me. Just get a new heart. Be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's bananas. So you're, I mean, I know for me, I would have been, again, I'm an emotional wreck, but you're just sort of, okay, this is what I have
So
to do.
what happened to me is that emotional wreck happened after the transplant
Got it.
when it was when it was a success. Before, I was the most analytical person and rational you have ever met.
Right.
I was like dreadfully cold with all my
Right.
decisions and how I operate and
Let's
what the
do
things
this.
I did when I knew that I was going to have a transplant. After transplant, I cried a number of times, and I got sensitive even seeing my daughters.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was like I crossed a barrier when it was a success. Like that allowed
Happiness.
me to just unleash all the feelings that I had repressed before.
You had everything bottled up, and then all of a sudden
I
now,
explode.
yeah, I mean, understandably.
Yeah.
And it's not when you're at this stage where you've recovered now, but this is at still the early stages, and you're sort of saying, okay, I still have to recover, but I got through that part. That was the hard part.
Oh yeah. Now is Disneyland in comparison to what it was before. And I was chatting with my doctor at that point, and I was having arrhythmias a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And just bear in mind that in 2022, I have 4 cardioversions, which is give me 50.
You did? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Again.
4 times.
Really? I didn't know this. When was that?
2022, I just said.
Yeah, but no, I mean, when, where, what? I need more details. Were you here at home?
No. I went to hospital. I got hospitalized, and I stayed a night there. And you get the procedure of cardioversion.
Wow.
And unless you are stable, you don't leave the hospital.
This is the ablation, or this is
No,
the
ablation is another
when they
it's a
burn it.
procedure.
Right.
So I got 4 cardioversions on a procedure on 2022. That's only 2022.
Wow. 4 of them. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So your first one was a false alarm. You're now back probably a bit.
This is early 2023, and I was speaking with my doctor.
Yeah.
I still had issues after the ablation,
Yeah.
and I still have arrhythmias, and so my heart rate was on 120 when the regular thing is 85
Mm-hmm.
on saying still. And the doctor said you should get into the hospital because you need to monitor you closely.
Right.
So I got into the hospital, and after a week I was at the hospital. I woke. They woke me up about 3 a.m. something like that, and they told me, "Joe, you got a heart, and we're gonna start testing it. I'm gonna prep you to the surgery."
Okay. Now this is I'm starting to remember this now that yes, you went down there, got set up, and you and I were joking around about this. This was prior to the surgery. I think you were saying I'm down here and bored to tears. I'm trying to do work. Yep. And you had your living space, and that was prior to this. And then they come in and they say, "Okay, here we go." And so is there excitement? I know there's anxiety.
There's a complete mixed emotions
Yeah.
because you're scared to death,
Yeah.
and you know that it can be a fix
Mm-hmm.
for, if it works, for your heart. There's a lot of unknown because you're going to be exposed to massive surgery,
Mm-hmm.
which has a death rate.
Yep. Painful. It's going to be painful. It's not going to be easy.
It's what was painful wasn't the surgery. It was part of the recovery, but because the sidetracks I had,
Yeah.
not specifically because the heart transplant. And I didn't know that it was going to be painful. It was painful because my body was reacting in a way that was painful.
So that wasn't even a thought in your mind of this is going to hurt?
No.
You're just like...
No.
It's. I think after all these discussions, I realize
bigger things. Dave,
Yeah,
when
I
you're
guess
going
so.
through
This is
transplant.
gonna. I suppose. I just I put
You
on
go
simply,
through different.
like, ow, this is gonna really hurt.
What is terrible? What is the worst moment is when they take you to the surgeon.
Yeah.
room. That's the trip between the room to the surgeon room. You see your life going by. You remember everything. You try to think what you did good, what you did bad,
Wow.
what you don't think in the future. Just
Not that it's about me, but did I ever come up in there at all? Were you thinking about me, like Dave's? No. Okay. Oh, I should text Dave one last time.
you
No.
don't have the phone at that moment.
Selfie.
You're not in the mood to the selfie. No, not even to
Good
do streaming
Lord,
live.
you're
no.
just like you're saying.
No.
Yeah, you should have asked the doctors. Can we stream live? No. TikTok it real quick. The experience that you're having at that moment, you're going in. I mean, was it sort of the dramatization on TV? You could hear the wheels slowly turning as they're walking along regular speed, but does life slow down a bit, or is it going too fast? What are because you're right now having
Your
life is flashing in front of you. Is it like this? Is it long?
You're absent.
You're just thinking about everything.
You don't even realize that you're on the
Wow.
the bed, being carried to the surgery room. You're just elsewhere.
You're just
your
thinking
mind-
of all this stuff in your
Yeah,
life.
you're thinking on what you've done.
Right.
If you gave a good legacy to your daughters.
Yeah.
If you've been a good person, you gives you perspective that you're never gonna get in
Yeah.
a different thing. And then I remember that I goes in the surgery room. The nurses there, it's plenty of people there, like a lot, and it's cold.
Yeah, they have to be
Cold.
cold in there. Yep.
AF, like
Yeah.
cold, freezing cold. And I was, guys, my heart's not gonna kill me. The cold.
You
is
have
gonna
to
kill
have
me.
frostbite. Yeah. Got hypothermia.
Yeah, you're unable to do jokes there, but
You can't joke. I would really
but-
be a bad heart recipient.
I don't know. I don't know. David.
No, even I wouldn't joke.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty serious.
And you there are thousands of procedures there. One of the latest procedures is they have the heart there, and all the doctors meet and examine the heart, and they decide if it's a go or no go.
Wow.
So
So it's
even
down
when
to the wire.
you are at the surgery room,
Yeah.
they can cancel it if they find something unusual.
Oh man.
So you might probably get asleep and wake up and
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. But and when you wake up, it's I remember I saw Valeria,
Mm-hmm.
and she was smiling, so I understood that things worked.
That was a good thing.
You're not in a state that you can ask questions. I was mute
You
also.
can't speak. Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't
Can't move. You're stuck.
can't move. You're so it's what you see basically, and they told me that things went well. They tried
Mhm.
to explain you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's your mind. You're so sedated that
Nothing sticks. You don't
no,
remember
no,
all of
you
that.
don't get it.
No. You're just like, okay, cool.
So the only thing that I remember for the first 14 days is the dreams that
Mm-hmm.
I had, and the body language of the people.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you everything, actually.
Yeah. If you could
But,
see if they're like, ooh, that's not a good look.
they're crying. Everyone's crying.
Yeah.
But I saw Valeria that was smiling. She was happy that I was awake, and yeah,
How long were you under? What was the timeline?
on surgery
Yeah.
wise, I think it was around 10 hours. I guess
10 hours.
probably less. I mean, I got into surgery room about 5 p.m. and Valeria got a call about 2 a.m. But it's tricky because this surgery ends, let's say, 5 hours or 6
Mhm.
hours, but then it keeps you 2 hours more just to double check that everything is working and there is no bleeding. So there's 2 hours that is controlling and seeing that everything actually works, and not doing work there. So it's kind of a passive time also, surgery.
Still, so wait a minute. Is Valeria in there when your chest is open?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
I don't think she'll look at it.
She didn't look? Did she kind of like come behind the screen? How do they cover that up? Is it just you like here and then?
I don't know. I wasn't on that side.
I remember.
That's a question for her, actually.
We need to have her. We need to talk to her about it. So because my wife had both of our children were cesarean section. Our
Yeah.
first one, Isla,
Mine too.
was. Oh really? Yeah.
It's very common. In Argentina, it's very common.
Yeah, it seems like it's. Anyway, we can get down that path someday. But anyway, Liz was in a situation where Isla was coming, our daughter was coming, and we had to get, down there and get this over with. And they, I'll never forget, they said, they're doing the surgery, and I'm sitting up here talking with her, and they said, all right, you can look up, and I, to see your daughter. And I stood up,
Mistake.
which
Why would I?
Hindsight, not what they meant, and not the
Yeah,
right
it's
way
a
to go.
bloodbath.
It was.
It's
It
a
was. Yeah, and sort of. I mean, I feel that I'm, pretty good with certain stuff, but I was sort of lightheaded, so I can't imagine coming in and just sort of what Valeria must have thought.
Well, it's
Seeing
hardcore.
you, first of all, she's excited because you're
alive.
alive. You have a new heart, and this is amazing. This has happened, and but there must have been like I'm
And
seeing my
you're-
husband like this.
You're wired.
Yeah, you're all hooked up.
It's a butcher.
Yeah,
I mean, you got at least 4 tubes that come from your chest, and you got IVs all over the body.
right.
I had pacemaker also.
A pacemaker. To
A
keep the-
pacemaker.
to-
You got wires that come from the chest.
wow.
You got patches all over, and
not looking your best.
not looking best.
Heart pacemaker to keep the heart going in case it stops, or is it to get the
No,
rhythm right?
What they do is, this happened to me. I don't know if it happens to everyone, but they set the pace really quick,
Mm-hmm.
like 119 or something like that,
Oh,
for several days.
to keep it pumping.
Yeah, give it pump
High.
because otherwise they just otherwise the heart goes very low on heart rate. So they get used to that speed,
Right.
and when they take it off, it goes to 85, 90.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What is your pulse now? Like if you look at your heart rate on your phone, on your watch, what do you have now? Sitting here.
It is 85.
85. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
The I didn't know that they have to keep the heart going fast. So and that's
No,
probably
me neither.
Yeah,
I mean, I
heals the
just
body
learned that-
probably,
Hmm?
right? It probably heals the body quicker too. I'm guessing because it's like pumping the blood.
No, I don't think it's because of that. It's because of
Again, we're not professional.
no, we're not
medical-
professionals. And
Yeah.
I repeat what I've been told. So
yeah.
and it's because otherwise the heart probably goes very slow
Mm-hmm.
on the pace, and they need just a quicker one.
Wow.
So they get used to, and you get first. I mean, you got tubes going
Mhm.
through your chest. You got IVs. You got medicines.
Yeah.
Ton of
Everywhere.
medicine, like 2 walls of medicine going through IV, and you got. I also got the oxygen.
Yeah, and you're and I've seen people who have this. Your chest rises and falls because of the tube, the intubator.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work when your chest is open? Is that still doing that? How's it opening your lung? I don't even know. What? I guess your lungs are just. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know.
nothing was uncomfortable though because you have so many drugs. You have a cocktail in you. Talk about if you're, and maybe you won't even remember, but I know when I've had procedures, as simple as just, knee surgery and they're putting you under. That's unfortunately for me, maybe it's my addictive personality, but I kind of like that part.
Sleeping.
Yeah. Well, they the I'm about to go to sleep moment where they give you the thing and you start to feel goofy. And then they're saying, why don't you try to count backwards? And I'm like,
Yeah, 10,
and
9,
that's-
8.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
You sleep at 8.
Exactly. And it just feels great, those things, whatever it is. Would any of that stuff, were you sort of relaxed? Were you just, or was it too much going on and then you were just out?
But when you're sedated, you're not under anesthesia. It's different drug.
Uh,
It's completely different drug.
so they just put you right out and you're,
yeah, I don't know what's the difference, but it's different what you feel when you're sedated and
Mhm.
when you're under anesthesia. When you're under anesthesia, it's kind of your body's off. But when you're sedated, your brain is very active.
wait, so you're sedated as opposed to anesthetic? So I'm out cold when I'm having my knee surgery. You're cognizant of what's going on? Well, not really, but you're sedated rather than fully anesthetic.
When you're sedated,
Anesthetized?
I think you're cognizant. That at least I felt it different.
Right.
And I
right.
cannot. I know, again, I'm not a technical person.
Thankfully.
I'm not no anesthetician.
Yes.
Can't explain why, but
Also
it
thankfully.
feels different. Feels
Yeah.
different.
Interesting.
I don't know what they use, and I'm not sure if I want to know.
Right.
But I can tell you that the difference between getting uh, anesthesia and getting sedated is different.
Wow.
Different. And yeah, on the sedation, I got all the delirium. That wasn't that cool.
That was the dreams. Those were the dreams that you
Mhm.
had. The sedation, and you again don't know if they're going to go through with this because they still have to make sure the heart's all good. You're being put under sedation, so you're probably under when they make that decision, right? You're not
What decision?
awake. They're not saying, "Okay, this heart's good, Diego. Here we go." It's more of you're getting put under. They're still evaluating, and then if it all looks good while you're sedated, they get.
I think it is that way.
Mhm.
Cannot confirm it, but I remember that I was in the surgery room awake for a long
Mhm.
time. They were deciding not sure what, and from one moment to another, I can't remember.
And you're
anything.
freezing.
Yeah, and you're.
Can I have a
freezing.
blanket? So, when are you? What was it that gets you to the all clear moment? What is the okay, Diego? You had one setback, or it sounds like maybe a couple, where you had to stay for 5 months. When were they sort of saying, "Okay, now you can go"? Did you have to do a dance? What do you do to get out?
So that was probably the most difficult part because from the whole transplant, and people might think that the surgery is the worst part
Mm-hmm.
and it's the easiest part.
Oh,
First of all, it doesn't depend on you.
right.
You are sleeping when surgery is done. It's right. It depends on the skills of
Yeah.
the doctors, which are very skilled. But the recovery, it depends on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything on you. So as I have had pneumonia,
Yeah.
that took me at least 3 months to recover my lungs.
Wow.
And they were every day, several times a day, exercises with my lungs
Mm-hmm.
to get them recovery. At the same time, while you're in a bed, sorry, your muscles starts to
Twitch.
spasm.
Spasm?
No, it's disappear.
Oh,
Because-
atrophy.
Atrophy because
Yeah.
you're not using them. You're not standing. You're not doing exercise,
Right.
and I can tell you that 5 days of not doing exercise or staying on a bed,
Yeah.
it's enough to set back your body for months.
Oh, wow.
Imagine about 5 months.
Jeez. Yeah.
So, in the meantime that I was trying to recover my lungs, I was losing my legs and all the strength of my body, but not only my legs. But
Right.
I can tell about my legs because it's probably the easiest way that you realize. But for example, when I was starting to see properly, because at the very beginning you see blurry and
Oh, really?
yeah, I couldn't see fine, and it happened to me like I was like a bit numb, still a bit numb, and for example, I saw someone walking there, and I just closed up my eyes a second, and then that person was like, I don't know, 1,000 feet away.
Is that from the medicine? Probably the medication. Yeah, for
Medication,
sure.
yeah.
Because you probably thought you blinked and it was like,
Yeah,
eyes
it
closed.
wasn't blink.
Right,
It was like
right.
10 seconds that I lost
wow.
sight. And it happens that you lost focus. It's
Yeah.
hard for you to read. And another sign that I was losing muscle is that I picked up my cell phone, and my cell phone was heavy to me. It was really
Wow.
heavy. I
'Cause you're
couldn't hold
so
it in my
excited.
hand.
Well, I remember you were still texting, so that's the only thing they say you can do after heart surgery is text. Dave.
Well, but I could do it. I could do it. I could do it after a while, because at the very beginning it was very hard for me to read.
I think I still have some of those, and there was a lot of, and I know English your second language, but there were some bizarre texts, I will say, that I sent. Not that I was your first person that you were texting, but it was certainly I was certainly glad to get them. And then, but there were some hilarious ones where and you sort of wrote back and just say, forgive me because I'm I'm a mess right now. Amazing. So they're your recovery. Is it common, by the way, to get pneumonia? I imagine it is from this procedure.
The fact that you might get an infection,
Yeah.
it's
High.
high.
Yeah.
The doctors do as much as they can to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
Even they give you antibiotics,
Yeah.
like a lot,
Yeah.
a massive cocktail for a long time
Yeah.
of antibiotics, just to, in case that you get an infection, just be treated.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not expected that you get a pneumonia, but that's what I
But
got.
it could happen. My dad, when he had his open heart surgery later in life, this was I don't know how old he was, probably in his 60s, but he had to use the pillow,
To
the
cough.
heart pillow to cough to make sure he didn't get pneumonia. So it seems like, obviously, this is a very susceptible area, and there's the pillow there that we need.
It's below.
Yes.
So when I was recovering from
You
pneumonia,
have to hold
you
it,
need to
right?
cough a lot. You
Yeah.
need to do like this,
And then
and it actually helps you to cough.
yeah. And you have a plastic device you blow into, and you see if you can raise the ball in it, type of thing. You have all that stuff to get your get your breathing. But when you're recovering, and you said it was the hardest part, was there ever a moment? And this is why I think this is, why you're, this is what I admire about you. But because I'm guessing I know the answer. But was there ever a moment where you were saying, "I'm not doing this. I'm out. I give up."
I knew that I would never give up, and I had my motto, my phrase was, "We shall never surrender."
Nice.
We were taken from Churchill's
Yes.
speech
Yes.
from Axis High of Iron Maiden, of course.
Aces High, that's right. One of the best songs ever written
Ever
by
written.
any band. But
So-
the beginning of Aces High, which is on the Power Slave album, 1984, I believe. In 1985 was the first concert I went to, which was, not to date myself, but they opened up with Churchill's speech and that there. So I'm wow, it all comes back to my first concert. I don't know how I connected those dots, but no, that's amazing.
Heart transplant
So
takes you
yeah,
to the first concert.
exactly. So
That's-
I was kind of we were meant to be friends, where we could use the Churchill speech. There's something in there. I'm telling you, the universe works in mysterious ways. No, so what a great phrase. But yeah, you never had that moment of I just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I knew. My mind always took me to go over it, and of course you got moments that you touch rock bottom,
Yeah.
and it's tough. But that's when the family is there to support you.
support,
So
yeah.
what would you? I remember having chat with my mom, and said, kind of say, it's too bloody hard.
Mm.
It's too hard. And she's a wise person.
Mm-hmm.
And I
bet
said,
you
I'm going to tell you a story. You know you're going to suffer when she
Oh
starts
boy.
like that.
Yeah, you're in trouble
So
now.
she tells a story about some screw-ups that she had when she was young. And a conversation that she had with her mother. And what her mother told her is, you need to dance. You're in the ball now. You need to dance.
There
you
you
need to
go.
row. And you need to get out of the situation. And the only thing that's going to take you out of the situation is what you do about it.
Yeah.
It's nothing else,
Yeah.
nothing external will come and save you.
Right.
That
This is on
doesn't
you.
exist. It is you and what you do what's going to take you out of this situation.
Yeah.
So she phrased that, and I knew that the only thing that's going to take me out is going to be my effort.
Yeah.
So it is hard because you put a lot of effort at the very
Mhm.
beginning. You are absolutely tired. You are just knackered. You just want to sleep,
Yeah.
and
You're not allowed to.
not allowed to. You need
You
to
can't allow
continue.
yourself, and they
You
don't
need to
want
push
you
it, push it, push it, push it, push it,
Mhm.
and the progress that you see at the very beginning is very slow,
Mhm.
and you realize in some moment that you're going to stay at the hospital for a long time. And again, this happened. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to go through this situation. It happened because I lost a lot of muscle,
Mhm.
and I couldn't even stand up. My legs were just hanging pieces,
Oh, yeah.
and I was so weak that I had to move my legs with my arms.
That's
I
crazy.
couldn't. I didn't have a strength enough to move my legs, and it was like the exercise that you got a lot of therapy
Yeah.
to recover,
Yeah.
and the exercise is to stand up. And if they celebrate if you are 2 seconds standing up, just standing up is your goal, your
Right.
daily goal, and the goal for the following day is to stand up for 4 seconds.
Wow.
The following day is for 5 seconds.
Wow.
And then
And are you wobbly? Are you like sort of?
oh yeah,
You're just
you have
like
no
on
stability.
Wow. So you like on a boat in the middle.
Yeah,
of
you
the
got
ocean.
no stability, and they get tools to help you stand up.
Right.
They lock down your legs so they don't wobble.
They don't wobble.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they help you to stand up, and they help you to be standing up.
Yeah.
Just in order just to get the legs working and get more strength. But I can remember that I was standing up. The goal was just to stand up for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And when I was standing up for 20 seconds was like, but I couldn't bear it. I couldn't stand. My legs were so weak that I couldn't stand. And that's where the mind plays a big part, because you put in comparison that not that long ago I was running a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Now I couldn't even stand up.
All right. It's crazy.
And so the recovery that you need to do is brutal. It's just brutal.
It's your mind saying you can do it, then your body's saying no, you can't, and then your body starts to do it, and then your mind says no, I can't.
And another thing that happens is that you heal your mind way quicker than your body, and you mentally you're ready to
Right.
to do a lot of stuff, but your body doesn't follow.
Right. And so now I think there's so much to unpack with this, because you have this great attitude and positivity, and I always find if I'm doing, no matter what my goal is physically, if I'm trying to do it, if I say, okay, I'm going to do this once, and maybe I want to do a little more, but once I have that sort of, I'm going to run 6 miles today, but maybe I'll run, if I get to 5, maybe I can stop there or something like that. I'm trying not describing it as well, but it limits me. It'll stop me. I'll get to that 5, and then I'll say, oh my God, you know what? I will stop here, or something like that. There's just, if you say, I'm just going to do this, and you're physically able to, you can get to that goal. You're combating that because you're saying, I know I can stand for 10 seconds today, and your body's saying, no way. So the next day when you have to do your 12 seconds, your body's probably going to say, well, maybe I'll try for 9. Your brain is saying that. I mean, so it's
Yeah, but
it's a journey that you must
the battle
up
is
and
the battle
2
is
steps forward.
you
4
have to
steps
push
back.
it. You have to push it,
Yeah.
because if you don't push it, you're just not gonna do it.
It's on you
It's
to
on
do
you.
this.
It's everything on you.
Yep.
The recovery is I know you can get a lot of support, as I did get from
Yep.
my wife, my family, and friends. But the one who's putting the body to recover is you.
Yeah.
No one is gonna help you.
You have a great outlook. You have a great personality, and you have a great sense of humor. Right? That's one of you and I could laugh all the time about different things. And did that? When did you lose any of that? Did you lose any of your humor?
On the contrary, and
So
The
you
funny
kept the
thing-
good humor. Good.
Yeah, all the country. And I remember they were asking me. I couldn't speak. I was
Right.
using
right.
a whiteboard just
Right.
to write
Yep,
answers.
I
there.
remember that.
And I remember that they were asking me if they wanted to do I don't know what, and I wrote J F D I.
JFDI. I don't know what that
So
is.
I wrote this into the in the board,
Uh-huh.
and they were asking Valeria, "What does he mean with this?" And then they were asking me, so I wrote
Oh, just
just
effing do it.
do it.
I love it.
And they were
JFD.
laughing to death.
I love it. So you're coming up with acronyms, your brain's working, the blood's definitely pumping through. Well, that's a weird question for you that I'm going to ask quickly is when you were with your old heart, was there every moment of mental fogginess or any challenges there? Because when you're obviously running low on oxygen, did you ever have a moment of that, or was that...
No, I'm aware of.
Mm,
I might really had, but not I'm aware of.
that's interesting. Yeah, I just thought of it
No,
now, but
I'm
I
not
just...
aware that. Not even lack of concentration,
Mm.
lack of focus. No, I was quite good on that one.
Do you feel you're mentally sharper now?
Not yet. But because the sharpness, it also depends on how challenged you are,
Mm-hmm.
and on work and daily basis work and not yet because the work and the things that I do didn't take me to that position.
Right.
I do realize that I get tired easier because I'm in recovery yet.
Yeah.
But no, I don't feel mentally challenged or sharper than before. I don't see any difference.
But well, last question for you then. You're going to run this marathon. We're going to figure out when. You're running. I see you in the morning. What distance are you at now? What are you
I
at?
don't.
Come on.
No, I'm
You're almost there.
no, I'm not almost there. No, I'm running. I'm going to the treadmill.
Yep.
So I started 2 months ago
Yeah.
because what was happening is that before my legs weren't able to stand the stump of the body when
Mm-hmm.
you try to run. And
So wait, your legs were not
like
responding? Or?
Yeah, basically when you do the step
Yeah.
and you land on your foot,
Yep.
the leg didn't stand up the whole weight of the body.
Oh,
So I was wobbling.
wobbly on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
my legs weren't ready.
Right.
They didn't build up all the muscle that they need to stand for a race
Yeah.
or for racing. So I start doing very, very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Going out, start running like for a minute, walking another minute, running for a minute, walking. And now I'm being able to run for 5 minutes probably,
Okay.
and walking for 2 minutes, running another 5 minutes, and just building endurance and that very, very slow pace.
Yeah.
Because for building muscle, you need to run a very slow pace. And as soon as I get endurance on my heart, my lungs, and my legs, I'm going to be able to go out and start doing more distance and probably quicker.
Yeah.
But I'm in total, I'm doing 2 miles.
That's great.
And I'm taking
2 miles.
38 minutes, a lot.
So you went from being able to stand for 2 seconds
Yeah, to run.
to running 2 miles.
Yeah.
That's pretty substantial.
But the
How-
problem is that the fact of doing dialysis also diminishes my strength
Yeah.
a lot.
So once you get a kidney,
It should be
there's
easier.
no stopping you.
It should be easier.
We'll do the Ironman and all the
Should be easier. When a kidney should be easier.
One last question on your lungs, because I thought of this earlier, but I didn't ask. Are you the damage that was done with the pneumonia? Is it permanent, or do lungs heal?
No,
No.
you heal.
You heal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so your lungs now, how do they feel? Everything aside from your obviously your kidneys.
I didn't have any other issue with my lungs.
Yeah.
And when I'm running or walking fast or going uphill,
Yeah.
I can breathe
You can breathe.
normally.
Great.
I didn't have any other episode of having anxiety of getting out of breath.
You should take up smoking now. No, don't do that. Uh,
Stop with that. Not smoking.
just take one cigarette, please. No, don't smoke.
Don't.
Jeez, for the love of goodness. So that's great. So you're so we could put what's our time? What's your mental timeline? Because I know that you're analytical and you're looking at this probably, or are you just saying I'll get there eventually? But are you looking at a date? Are you targeting something?
It might probably take me another year
Uh-huh.
to be able to run 10K.
What? I thought we were going to run a marathon in another year.
But once you build up the 10K, then it's going to happen.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that. So we have 10K coming, and we're on September 13th, Friday the 13th. September 13th next year, you're going to be doing at least a 10K.
I should.
Yeah. All
I
right.
should.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and one of the things that I noticed is that mistakenly I was putting deadlines. You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that.
Because
Oh.
the body heals.
Again, I'm not a medical professional, so don't listen to my advice.
And
yeah.
I usually I used to set deadlines for my
Mm.
recovery, and then you face frustration, and then
Yeah.
you learn that the body heals at the time that the body heals, but it does it,
So
which
you-
is the most important thing.
Now, when you're going to that moment and you're looking at it and saying, I have a goal of this, and okay, fair enough. You don't want to put a timeline on it. I understand that. But now, looking back, do you have any moment of disbelief that you're at this stage? Because I know I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at you and I'm going, wow, this is amazing. What progress.
All
you
the
know?
time,
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, you have the wish that in some moment you're healthy again, but you're if you go through a pneumonia
Mm-hmm.
and you lose all the muscles of your body.
Yeah.
Like I lost about 40 pounds
Jeez.
of muscle.
Sheer muscle.
I don't know what that is.
But no, you were you were in good shape. 40 pounds. That's crazy. Not
Yeah.
a diet recommended by anyone, by the way. Do not do that diet. The open heart to pneumonia diet is
Yeah,
a
but-
rare one.
And it's funny because the recovery for me wasn't about the heart. It was
Right.
about the legs.
Right.
And probably all my experience that I'm sharing, it's not related with the heart. The fact is that the heart worked.
Yeah, that's great.
And I didn't have any minor issue with the heart. I had issues with the rest of the body,
right.
but not with the heart. So if someone is trying to get stories about the heart, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I don't have them. I have stories about the rest of the body that probably you're not aware that you might get.
Right.
And I did get. And the story about my recovery is about my legs.
Yeah.
Ironically, it's about my legs, and also because what they mean for me. Because I was so addicted to running, and I want to run so bad now
Yeah.
that losing my legs for me was
I can't imagine it. That's one of my
serious
things.
stuff.
I think about that because we're getting older. Obviously, I'm 25 now.
Yeah.
How many ages am I? All right, so I'm a little older than that.
You read the number
backwards. Sorry. 52. So I have to. So, but you're susceptible to injury now, and I always think about that when I'm running, and I shouldn't take any moment for granted because it's something I'm very, very passionate about. I've fallen back in love with running, and not that I've ever lost it. I've always been a runner, but I've been just so fired up to run now. And I think, if my knees go out or what have you, and I can't do this anymore, I'm going to be a nightmare for people to deal with because I have lost this. But two, it's something that if you don't have that passion, and I know a lot of people don't have the running passion, but if you then it's hard to maybe understand. But if you do have that, you don't want to lose it because it's part of who you are.
Especially because I have a new heart now.
That's right. You got to try that
I
thing
mean,
out.
I want to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
went-
work that thing.
Now I got the opportunity to run longer distance, and
Yeah.
don't have the legs. Before I had the legs, but I didn't have the oxygen. Now I have the
Yeah.
oxygen, but I don't have the legs. It's like something's missing.
Yeah.
But I know I'm gonna gain it, and it's about all the effort that you put, and it's my motto of "We shall never surrender."
That's right.
That was my way of living.
Love it.
I
Yeah.
think we should close this episode here.
Love it. This was great.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Diego.
See you.
See ya.
Cheers.